Good afternoon, May the 27th, I'm David Pengilly. The back is nearly fixed and progress is coming along quite well. And what I want to show you today is some work on the interior of my Porsche 911 RS Backdate project. And as everyone knows, interior jobs are time consuming and not very exciting. But I've got something to show you that you might find interesting. So what you can see here are one of the original Porsche 911 chairs, that's the one on the right, and two replacement Recaros, which I think are pretty similar to the ones that they put in the RS back in 1973. Now, those purists amongst you will say, yeah, but they're not quite right, are they, David? And I would agree with you, but also they didn't cost quite as much, and I want to do this project on a budget, and I want comfort, and I want a little bit of utility, and I want to keep £1,000 in the bank at the end of the job. So I bought these two Recaros on that very well-known internet auction site for £90 the pair. And the reason why no one else wanted them is that they are very narrow. They are not quite as narrow as the 911 chair, but overall those seats are about the same height. They've got the headrest like the RS, they got the Recaro sign, they got the fabric middle panel, they got the leather surrounds, and they fit in a Porsche 911. They are 1 inch wider than the original. And if I trim back that plastic, they're exactly the same size. But probably I'm not going to have to, they're going to fit just nicely. So, let me show you what I've done so far. Now the first thing I did was that the leather on the bolsters and on the back here was starting to get just a little bit dry and cracked. So I put on there some leather protector. It's basically called dubbing, from those of you who used to be Boy Scouts, and you rub that in and leave the seats in the sun for about 10 minutes. And what happens to this wax is that it goes liquid, and when it goes liquid it just vanishes and is absorbed into the leather. You can do that once or twice and that leather will get soft again. So I've done that. And once I'd done that, I wiped it off with a cloth, and the process of wiping it meant that I got it into all the little cracks and that covered up any dust. So I worked it all the way around, and then I got one of these, which is a Kiwi colour shine. It's actually a type of black dye, and when it is dry it will not come off on your clothing. It has a spirit in there and it is absolutely absorbed, and I painted that onto the black leather. This is vinyl around the side, this is leather. I painted it all the way around here on the black leather, and it re-dyes it black. So you can do both those chairs and another 10 chairs as well for £3 with this product. And I don't know if you're seeing that as well as I am through the camera, but that is a pretty smart job. Amazingly, the fabric on those chairs is pretty much unworn, and of course I do have the option of changing them over and putting the passenger one where the driver sits. And I don't know if you can see this, but the left hand one, which was previously the passenger seat, is almost completely unworn. The fabric is like new. The other one, you might be able to see there, it's got a tiny rip on the vinyl of the bolster, and the fabric, while still good, is a little bit more worn, so I could put that for the passenger. But the only thing is that I noticed that only the driver's seat has lumbar support, and I like that because I get a bad back, so probably I'm going to keep them as they are. They're both completely serviceable. So that was a good find. About those original seats, well, I've done plenty of other car projects, and I have found that old tired seats have got nearly no market. So I'm not putting them back in my car. I want to get rid of them. And the reason there's no market for old tired seats is that nobody wants those in a nice car like a Porsche. You can see there, I think you can see these splits. All the fabric and the stitching is tired. So what I decided to do is, instead of reselling these seats, is I'm going to utilise the runners and some other small parts of these seats to make my project go more easily. And for those of you who think that's sacrilege, cutting up the old seat, I apologise, but I want to make my job a little bit easier. So let's get on and do it.